Hello again, my name is Anas Minu. Let's settle for the details now. The minority in Parliament says the House will not be able to correct defects in the Agyapa deal as revealed in the Corruption Risk Assessment Report of the Special Prosecutor, insisting a cancellation is the better remedy. Now, Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu insists the Agyapa deal is a bad one, which his side will never support, even when it comes to the House for the second time.
Not too sure whether it is a recommendation of the President that the transaction gets back to Parliament, or it is the recommendation of the Special Prosecutor. It's certainly not. It's certainly not the Special Prosecutor's recommendation that the transaction be sent back to Parliament. And when the President so refers it back to Parliament, for Parliament to do what? Parliament cannot remedy the defects of the transaction in any way possible. That is why we question the transaction. In any case, what is government desperately looking for $500 million for? What do they want the money for? What is the national need? What is the emergency for which we must borrow? From a transaction that we earn without borrowing, gold contribute 4% to our national revenue. Government without Agyapa earns $130 million annually from gold revenue, and just 10 of the mineral mining companies make significant contribution to our total revenue. Parliament cannot remedy the defects so identified by the Special Prosecutor. How is Parliament going to cure nepotism and cronyism? How is Parliament going to cure that you appointed a chief executive without due process? How is Parliament going to cure that you pass a resolution on a non-existing law? You don't build a house on nothing. It was built on nothing. How is Parliament going to cure that a motion is moved and the motion is amended at the very time it was to be adopted, to make room to wait for a president to assent to a bill so passed by Parliament? We feel strongly vindicated. The truth must always stand with the political minority at all times, and Ghanaians will now understand why momentarily I lost my cool and temperament for an important national matter of this character and nature. You find a Minister of State trivialize it with Papano at that time, not concerned about the weight and magnitude of this particular transaction. You want to take gold revenue for the next 10, 15 years. What does that mean to the state? What does it mean to chiefs and people who earn a portion of the Mineral Development Fund? Government ministers were joking and reduced that transaction to a trifle.
So are you calling for it to be totally scrapped, suspended? What is your call as a minority leader?
The minority is not likely to change its position on Agyapa. We don't support it today. We don't support it tomorrow. We don't support it into the future.
If they go ahead and bring it, you still know. I spoke to your deputy, Honorable Abeji, yesterday, and he told me that the minority would only support this if it comes with amendment to it. He wasn't specific as to what amendment he wanted to see. The minority,
Parliament cannot correct any of the defined defects. But just be here. I'm coming in 1 minute. Don't move away. 1 minute.
And so that's the minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu. But the majority leader, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, says Parliament will only know what exactly it has to do after the referral arrives in the House. He insists it's early days to conclude Parliament cannot relook at the agreement.
If I see it, then we will see what exactly is being required of Parliament. But it should be normal. As I said, in agreements, in bills, if we pass bills or approve agreements, and maybe the President, subject to the availability of some additional information believe that the Parliament ought to have a second look at some particular provisions, he may draw attention to that. And if it comes back to us, and usually it will be maybe in consultation with the Council of State. If it comes to us and we have a second look and we believe that, yes, giving the additional information that we have, some amendment may have to be proffered, we will do that. However, it is also possible that when referrals from the President come back to Parliament upon second consideration may decide that no, we are happy with what we did, and that there's nothing untoward about what Parliament did earlier. So I would want to know exactly what the terms of reference that is back to Parliament is, and then we will address our minds.
But realistically, looking at the time that is left before the House goes on recess, can Parliament consider a referral back to the House with all of the 5 agreements, the assignment agreement, the allocation agreement, the relationship agreement, and all the agreements that were brought to the House, and this deal was signed off and passed?
First of all, I've indicated to you that I don't know the terms of reference. Okay. I'm not too sure that you know the terms of reference. You're only conjecturing. So let it come to us. Once we see, it cannot be. Don't forget that this agreement came from the presidency, right? And it cannot be that the president will say that, hey, the whole thing is wrong. Look at it again. If the whole thing is wrong, then it will mean that the president will have to bring a different agreement, right? Then you ask whether we'll be able to handle it from now until Saturday when we will adjourn. I don't know the content of the bag that is coming to us. If we assess it and we believe that we can work on it, we will apply ourselves to it. But already we have a tall order of business for us to process and indeed transact. If adding to it, we believe that it's possible, so be it. If it's not possible, we'll have to tarry a while. But I don't know what it entails. So I cannot make any definitive pronouncement on that.
Some say this shows Parliament didn't do a good job with the earlier document that was approved.